Okay, we're going to bring this meeting back to order.
Okay, welcome to the Queen Anne's County Commissioners meeting. This is a public meeting that is being aired live on our local cable television station, QACTV 7. These media broadcasts provide county citizens an opportunity to watch and review our scheduled public meetings. In addition to our live audience this evening, we are providing remote options for citizens to watch and participate in county commissioner meetings. Citizens may watch our meeting live on our website at qac.org/live or on our public access governmental television channel provided by Breezeline Cable Services. Citizens may also participate by joining the live Zoom meeting by going to qac.org/public comment, and citizens may also email comments to publiccomment@qac.org. Comments received will be summarized during the press and public comment period on tonight's agenda. We acknowledge everyone's participation, and by attending, you acknowledge that this session is both recorded and aired. Press and public comment will be taken and is limited to 3 minutes per person. If you do care to speak, please sign up at the information table in our lobby, and comments longer than 3 minutes can be submitted in writing for the Commissioner's review. We will now stand and be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Commission President Jim Moran.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everybody. Commissioners, that brings us to the approval of tonight's agenda. So our agenda for tonight's meeting, February 10th, along with the regular session minutes, the closed session minutes from the Sanitary Commission minutes from January 13th, have all been circulated for your review. Any additions or corrections to the minutes or the agenda?
Nope. So I will make a motion to approve the agenda and minutes as submitted.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Okay, we just had a closed session under the General Provisions Article, Section 3305B1 for personnel, and no decisions were made in the closed session. So that brings us to press and public comment.
Nobody signed up. Would anybody like to speak? Seeing none, we'll close press and public comment. And for the record, Commissioner McLaughlin's on the big screen tonight.
All right. All right, Commissioners, we can proceed with our agenda tonight. So the first item we have is under legislation. So if you want to turn to tab number 7. So tab 7, item 1, we have a comprehensive water and sewer plan amendment informational meeting with the town of Centerville. So folks, you want to come on down, Mr. Quimby? So the town of Centerville is seeking a text amendment to revise or replace the current requirement on the ownership of lands used for spray irrigation treated wastewater effluent, which is currently not permitted in our comprehensive water and sewer plan. So I will turn it over to our friends, if you can introduce yourselves. And Mr. Quimby, do you have any opening remarks?
Well, Commissioner, the current plan, as you know, requires the land to be owned in fee simple for, I think, for pretty practical reasons, so that the spray field can never be taken away from the town. It's pretty, obviously, it's essential to the sewer treatment of any town. So a lease arrangement, as I understand it, it all depends on the terms of the lease. If there's the proper terms in the lease, it might be a viable option, but you've got to make sure that the lease runs with the land. In other words, if the guy sells a farm, it doesn't make any difference, the lease is still in place. You've got to make sure that the town is the only one that can terminate the lease. You can't let the landowner terminate the lease at the end of 99 years or whatever the period is. And I think you have to make sure that if you're going to renew the lease, that there's some type of escalator built into the original lease that he can't charge an exorbitant fee when you go to renew the lease. That's my opinion. Other than that, it's up to you.
Very well.
All right.
And we agree with everything that Alan just said.
We normally do too. So.
So, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
This is a thing that MDE allows, that you don't have to own the property. But yes, Alan's correct. You have to have a pretty tight, reins on the lease for it. There's other places that I'm aware of, and those leases are attached to the deed, and that's how it's recorded. That's how they've gotten by with it and everything. You know, we've got to do something with the water. As I'm sure you folks are aware, they're only going to allow you so much more to go back into the bay and the tributaries. And that's kind of at the spot where we're at now. As it is, if we continue to discharge to the Corsica River, we actually discharged Gravel Run. But if we're going to upgrade and go for the higher capacity, state says we have to go out further into Corsica River to be able to do that. So even at that, we still aren't going to get a year-round discharge into the river. We currently have 2 discharge permits. We're allowed to discharge to the river from December 1st up to April 1st. After that, we can discharge to the farm. So with that being said, we need more ground to have the capacity to irrigate on. Our sweet spot is within 3 miles of our current farm on Hope Road. Once you get further away than that, you're really getting up there trying to convey the infrastructure to get it out further than that. We have worked for several years with farmers local to our farm, and nobody's interested in selling. And I don't blame them that some of these are legacy farms, and you know, I can wholeheartedly understand it and agree with them. So it's not like we can purchase anything very close. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the situation. So, and any questions we can.
I'm sure you've already had some farms that are targeted for what you're trying to accomplish, and
We haven't talked with the owners, but yes, we have farms around our farm that are definitely ones that we were considering to talk to before we go into this full.
how many gallons a day during summer months do you spray?
During summer months, on good days, we can spray 1 million gallons a day.
Really?
But everything has to be perfect. It has to be dry air, not as humid. It has to be a hot day and a sunny day, and during the longer hours of daylight to be able to do that.
What's the latest price tag on extending the pipe out to where you need to get it to be able to discharge? Is that a number you don't want?
It's
It's a number we don't
Talk
officially
about.
have. No, we really don't have it. If you
We
want to
have
talk
a-
about that, rough
I mean,
estimate.
we have a budgetary number, but, I mean, it's very substantial. So that's why the town is looking at other options. It's not a easily approachable number.
But if you extend that pipe, will you be able to discharge that during the warm weather months? Or
No.
That's strictly December through,
Yeah,
okay.
and that's the way the permit is now. Now, if I had a crystal ball and could tell you that's 100% for sure, you know, we wouldn't all be sitting here now. But just in the discussions we've had with MDE, right now they're not looking to allow us to have that type of a discharge permit.
Right.
And even if we did discharge more than those winter months, we'd be restricted to the number of gallons per day, which is actually, last figures that I heard was less than what our discharge permit currently is. So,
So you had other jurisdictions that do it in Maryland? Is that what I understand? So are any of at the rate that you guys are looking at, or are they less, are they more? I mean, do you have any idea?
that part I couldn't tell you. I don't know the particulars of their permit and what their limits are as far as the discharge limits. But
How new is this with the leasing, Alan? How new is the leasing process, do you know?
No, I do know of other jurisdictions that have done it.
So it's not a new process for MDE, this is something
No.
that they've embraced?
The one I'm familiar with is approaching 20 years now. So, and it's not owned by the system that's doing the discharge. It's owned by the same farmer that's had it for years. Continue to work.
So you guys are handling the capacity fine right now, but you guys are in a similar boat that the county's in as far as capacity available?
Yeah, we're right at about the 80% with our discharge from the permits we have right now. We're permitted at 542,000 a day. With this upgrade, we're looking to go to 1 million gallons a day. As I'm sure everybody's aware of, there's development that wants to take place around Centerville. We also know that the county owns property out at the 301, 304 interchange, and there's been discussions with the town about some point wanting to run services out there to not only cover the county property out there, but the state also, state highway, state police, they own property out there. And we've also been approached by the one large business out there, Tidewater.
All the properties out there have various septic issues.
Plus I think they want to expand too, though, don't they?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Tidewater
but I-
does.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Tidewater wants to grow.
And if I'm not mistaken, the sleeve's already put in across 301, right?
I think so.
When they did the overpass? I mean, there was always talk of that. I
Yeah.
think it's actually there.
It's supposed to be there.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they were installed when the 304 overpass was done,
What I thought.
and they're actually more closer to where Tidewater's building is, where they cross. The other thing with this upgrade, the upgrade will be taking us from BNR to ENR.
That's why they can increase their capacity, whereas we can't. We're already at ENR.
So, with that said, we're looking for our affluent to meet Tier 4 classification. So at that point, it's able to be used on athletic fields, public open space, that type of thing. By then, it's got most all the nutrients and the phosphorus and all removed from it at that point.
If I may, you brought up Tidewater. Have you spoken with the owner of Tidewater about he needs more capacity?
Yes, they approached us. We received a letter just last week.
So they're going to want you to run sewer out there. Wouldn't that kind of help our problem if you could do that?
He was asking if it would help part of the problem if he did that. They need to spray the effluent, the discharge. That's what they're looking for, so. But
Understood.
I don't think his property would be available for discharge.
I don't mean it is property, but if you're going to run the line out there, now you've got sewer and water out at Tidewater, and then, you have to look at farms from that standpoint.
Well, he said they have a 3-mile radius, so that's well past Tidewater out there. So they could even go out further.
Well, and the 3-mile radius that we're looking at for the farms to possibly get at least for discharge are within 3 miles of our farm that's at Oak Road. So, yeah,
So still, as the crow flies, you're
yeah.
well past that.
Mhm.
What about the county site on the other side, where the solar is? What about the land over there?
Yeah, we haven't investigated anything about that as far as how many acres you folks have or anything, what it would take to do that. But I do know that when the sleeves under 301 were installed, there's 4 sleeves there, so that there is an extra one just for that purpose as well.
And then we've got the public notice is the next meeting,
Public hearing, yes.
so there's nothing that's required of us at this
No
present
action
time.
for us today, right?
Yeah, just opportunity for you to ask questions about the project. I know the town's been trying to expand, and obviously you need to really replace your existing wastewater plant. It's in need of a replacement anyway. It's pretty old.
Yeah.
So it's expanding, that helps them, pay that debt service off, easier for the residents that are connected to the sewer system currently in the Centerville. So, and can you give us a quick update on where you are in the design process of the plant, the new plant?
Yeah, we're developing the final design. We're at a 30%
30%?
level of completion, and targeting the end of this year to complete the design and go into permitting.
Okay. How about your funding sources? Are they lined up for the project?
That's quite a game, I'll put it
It
that way. We do have funding sources lined up.
All right, well, that's
I'd
good.
like to,
We're continuing to have conversations
yes.
to
All
see
right.
what funding sources we can continue to.
But if you'd like to
Proceed.
contribute, they would certainly not turn you away.
GoFundMe that they set up.
They got a big GoFundMe page.
Do you have an estimated
That's not a
cost at
bad
this
idea.
point? Is there an estimated cost at this point of the expansion?
Yeah, so right now it is at, what, about 38 million, roughly, is where we are today. Which has grown significantly from the
bargain.
previous numbers.
In this
that we
world
were at.
today, with everything going up, that number sounds about what's been floated for the last 4 or 5 years, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes,
That's
that
just the treatment
excludes
plant.
discharge, that's just
Okay, so
the
that's just the
treatment.
plant.
That's just
Yes,
the
we have to
plant.
separate out the
Another
discharge.
big chunk for the
Yes.
I got you.
discharge.
Okay.
Anything else?
Everybody's got money
I
problems.
guess we'll see you at the next meeting.
All right,
See you next
thank
week.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan.
All right, Commissioners, also under tab 7, we have two two new county ordinances. Tab 7, item 2 is County Ordinance 2601. This is for traffic control signal monitoring systems that was prepared by Pat Thompson for the sheriff. So that is for introduction, and that will allow for red light cameras in Queen Anne's County
In front of the schools or just,
in front of the schools, and also he's targeting the area down at Route 8 where there's some signal problems down, well, it's in proximity to schools, but that's the area that where we have the
So
red light
the
issues.
law passed last year where you don't have to be in a school zone any longer for any of this, or cameras for
right,
speed cameras. So
right, but
Right.
I know,
you can do it
I know his
anywhere.
concern was to slow traffic down in front of our schools.
That's the next one.
But they can do that.
Yeah.
They just can't go, now they can go everywhere, so, I'm,
I'll introduce it.
It's just for introduction.
yeah,
tonight.
because I'm not a big fan of this. but-
I just want to know where exactly on Route 8 they're talking about.
Well, that's just it, it's.
Where the red lights are.
Just a little heads up warning from me,
Okay,
so I know
yeah.
when we're driving down the road where to slow down.
Well, the history of this is it became enabling legislation last year.
Right.
Initially, it was, the towns wanted to be able to do it if they didn't have a school in them. Actually, Barkley was one of the towns that signed on to that because they wanted to, and it's bad up there. I hear every time we have a COG meeting, they talk about the speed through 313, through Barkley and Sudlersville and all, but just gotta watch it, because this gives it, just remember, they can go everywhere. So.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of them being able to go everywhere as much as just in front of our schools. I mean, I was on board with the whole idea of these, in front of our schools to slow traffic down in front of our schools. I think, to me, the issue of being a money grab doesn't exist anymore. It's more of a public safety issue for, to slow traffic down in front of our schools. But, I mean, to just put them anywhere, to me, that's, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, like I said, this
It's
goes back to the
introduced.
planning.
Public
commission.
hearing.
It'll have a hearing.
Just, yeah, public hearing.
So Chris is introducing 2601, I'll introduce 2602.
All right. Yeah. And just for the record, County Ordinance 2602 is for speed monitoring systems, to authorize the use of speed monitoring systems in Queen Anne's County as well. So,
Right.
all right. Thank you, Commissioners. That is all we have for legislation this evening. We can move into the presentations portion of the agenda next. So if you want to turn to tab number 6. And first, we have an update from For All Seasons. So if you want to come on up, we have Katie Theek, Miss Susan Alstrom, and Mr. Len Wolf that are... Oh. Okay, all right, well, come on up. Please join us, and welcome.
If you don't mind, thank you.
Which one is that? That's the For All Seasons?
Tab 6, item 1.
Would you like to
This one.
do the proclamation first?
Sure.
There you go.
That's it right there. Do you want to read it?
No, go ahead, you're fine.
You want to do the proclamation?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Proclamation 2604, whereas nearly 25 million children, women, and men are trafficked and deprived of their freedom, human rights, and dignity every year, and according to University of Maryland School of Social Work, there have been over 1,000 reports of child sex trafficking screened by Maryland DSS CPS screening units since 2013. And whereas human trafficking is a serious problem on the Eastern Shore, whereby traffickers use violence, threats, deception, and other manipulative tactics to force and coerce both young people and adults, boys and girls, to engage in commercial sex acts or to provide labor against their will. And whereas human trafficking is among the fastest growing criminal industry in the world, second only to drug trafficking. And whereas the state of Maryland has enacted comprehensive anti-human trafficking laws with a focus on criminal prosecution and victim support. And whereas Queen Anne's County recognizes the considerable moral and economic harm of human trafficking to our communities, our states, and the nation, and recognizes that bringing a greater awareness to this problem will help victims. And whereas by bringing awareness to human trafficking within the Midshore region of Maryland, we bring victims hope and work to secure the natural-born freedoms of all human beings should enjoy. And whereas Queen Anne's County recognizes that increased public awareness and education within our community will provide more opportunities to recognize and aid in the fight against human trafficking. And now therefore we, the County Commissioners of Queen Anne's County, do hereby declare the month of January Human Trafficking Awareness Month and urge all citizens to actively work toward the eradication of human trafficking. Sign, your County Commissioners. We're going to have to get that amended, and then we'll give it to you.
Oh, because it says council.
It says council. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll get that fixed and
We'll
then,
get that fixed.
then we'll get it to you.
Yep.
Very good. All yours.
Yeah, my name is Katie Tiki, and I'm Chief Marketing Officer at For All
Could you
Seasons.
move the microphones?
Oh,
toward-
sure.
There you go.
For anybody who's watching who doesn't know us, For All Seasons is your community mental health and rape crisis center, and we provide therapy, psychiatry, rape crisis center services, and education and outreach to our community. And we have offices across the Midshore and one in Stevensville. So we're very much a part of this community. Under the For All Seasons Rape Crisis Center, we have our anti-human trafficking program, which is part of the Maryland statewide Regional Navigator Network. And this is a program that connects our team of experts with experts across the region so that we can bring awareness, education, and resources to the community. And our therapists and Rape Crisis Center advocates provide safe and confidential support to human trafficking survivors and their families. One thing I think is really important to mention is that 1 in 6 of our clients screen positive for indicators of human trafficking. So we tend to think that this is a problem that is not in our region, but it is. And Susan can share a little bit more. Susan Alstrom is our regional navigator, and she can share a little bit more about what that might look like.
So thank you again for having us here once again this year to bring this problem, the awareness of human trafficking to our region and your county. I do want to share, we have seen the type of trafficking that we see, the sex trafficking and exploitation that we see in our Rape Crisis Center, where 1 in 6 are identified as having indicators for trafficking. We are seeing an increase in terms of the exposure with the internet and access to our young people as well as our vulnerable individuals, and that does influence the way in which perpetrators can reach those who are vulnerable. And a few ways that, again, it's a problem that isn't always recognized in the way that we see it. Some of the cases that we've had recently involve familial trafficking, where a young teen was identified in the emergency room as having met up with a truck driver, and that was arranged online with a phone app. And it was indicated that there might have been some influence by a parent who helped with that situation because there was a need for the income, et cetera, in the family. Familial trafficking is something that we do see, and that unfortunately is an issue where family members are trafficking their children or partners or other family members for housing or food or drugs, et cetera. Another case that we have encountered is a vulnerable adult male where that individual was being given housing in exchange for their Social Security check, and then ended up in a situation where they were being held against their will and sold for sex. And that is another way in which we see this human trafficking occur. So it isn't necessarily what some might think. You know, traditionally we envision something overseas or a white van, or, you know, that it involves some sort of kidnapping. That's not necessarily the way it shows up. So we are working very hard to educate our community partners, law enforcement, et cetera, so that we can make sure that everyone is aware. We all need to be a part of the prevention of this problem, and we really appreciate you making sure that our community is aware through this proclamation.
So I'm sure that there's several methods that you guys are a part of your awareness program. Is there just a couple that you can share with us now? Some of the things that really are the most prevalent when it comes to subjects being sought out for human trafficking?
So anyone can be a victim of human trafficking, any vulnerable individual. It could be youth, obviously, people that are isolated and alone. It can be elders. It can be, it does not discriminate in terms of your education level or your income level, et cetera. We do see that the online access, the statistics show that young people spend 8 to 10 hours a day online, either on their tablets at school, their phones at home, playing games. Games are an easy access point for perpetrators to reach our young people, to reach anybody, and side conversations on some of the communication apps like Discord and Signal, et cetera, make the communication, it can be private, it can disappear. So all of those things are, ways in which the individual who's trying to take advantage of another can get access to that person.
And we do have a multi-pronged approach as far as how we're addressing the issue. We are working with youth and families and schools. Susan's done lots of trainings across the counties. We're still waiting to get into the Queen Anne County schools, but we're working on it. She's been in all the other counties. We have just did a anti-human trafficking 101 and online sexual exploitation safety training to the public at our office in January.
Center for Learning. Yeah.
Through our Center for Learning. So, and we're doing just kind of base level, like educational activities for teachers, and we're providing those to the schools so that, and they're age appropriate. So they're not going to be talking about trafficking, so to speak, but they're talking about the online safety measures that kids need to understand. So they're kind of more fun activities, but to help build their awareness for how, not to friend somebody they don't know, for example, to recognize some warning signs.
So when you say you're in other schools and you're trying to get into the Queen Anne's County schools, when you say you're in other schools, like you're physically there and you're giving seminars, or there's sessions that kids can sign up for, or health classes, or?
We've had different efforts in different schools. In Caroline County, we have had a presentation to the community where it was open to the community and advertised through the school school-wide communications. We are, for instance, going to be in Kent County High School in a couple of weeks, and during lunch, offering information to the youth and swag and creating opportunities for them to learn through a little truth versus myth of game. We've done the same thing in Dorchester County at the high schools there. So we're looking for opportunities. We've done projects at Talbot County High School with the AP Spanish class, where again, we used that topic as a learning opportunity and then did activities with them. So we've also trained some of the health education teachers at the schools prior to the opening of school.
What about posters or flyers or things like that that can be put up in the schools?
I think those are helpful, but things like a poster or a ribbon don't mean as much until you have the training around it.
I agree, but I mean, in the interim, until,
Yeah.
you know, you get the green light or the okay from Queen Anne's County Schools, are there things that the guidance counselors or the health teachers can actually put up in the school for now, or?
We would love that opportunity.
Yeah,
We do
I think
have
we
lots
can.
of materials.
We have
to-
lots of materials, so we're
share.
definitely on it, and that's going
Yes.
to happen.
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
confident.
Yes. We have a good relationship with the schools, and it's just a matter of, there's a lot to cover and a lot to share and a lot to be cautious of. So we do want to raise the priority in terms of this, because again, with the access, the online situation, it is elevating the risk. We also, to your point about how we intervene, et cetera, our chief clinical officer sits on the local MDT, as well as myself, the Child Advocacy Center Board. So we participate and review cases and look for the indicators that it might be an instance of trafficking. We work very closely with your law enforcement and DSS, et cetera, to continue to address instances that come up and get them the services, get the individuals the services that they need in terms of mental health and other advocacy, and so on.
So if someone watching this evening wanted to reach out to you, how would they do that?
They could go to our website, forallseasonsinc.org, and on our staff page, both Susan and I are there, but really if they just call the number, which is 410-820-1018, they can ask for Katie or Susan, and they can reach out to us.
We also have a website, we support survivors.org, and there's a great deal of information there regarding this issue, regarding trafficking, and also how to get help and or how to find additional resources.
And before we...
Miss Susan
Yes.
McLaughlin here.
Yes. How
If
are
I can ask a question. If you don't hear back from the Queen Anne's County School Administration in a couple of weeks, just shoot us an email and we'll make that introduction for you. We have a new superintendent, as you know, and he's a good man. So it's just a matter of time. My other question is, have you presented to the sheriff and the deputies about your findings
Yes, we work very
the
closely.
last few months?
In the last few months, we're always in contact with the sheriff's office and the sergeant and the detectives there. So I think that they are aware. I continue to share information that comes across. There's a great training that will be down that our Maryland Human Trafficking Task Force presents with IATI, the International Association for Trafficking Professionals. Those types of resources we are consistently sharing with the sheriff's office and our other law enforcement partners. So we do work closely together, and I do appreciate your support there, and we will definitely communicate back with you.
Police as well?
Yes, the police as well.
Police as well.
Yes,
Great.
Centerville Police as well, definitely.
Well,
We have a very
thank you
good,
for what you're doing.
yes, thank you for the opportunity to talk about it.
And also want to mention, we have 2 free online trainings which are open to the public. So those are through our Center for Learning website, which can also be found through forallseasonsinc.org. But one is our mandated reporter training. So social workers, police officers, EMS, teachers, Anybody who works with kids, are mandated reporters if they see signs of human trafficking. So there's a course on that. It's free for anyone. And there's also one for the hospitality industry, because we know here where we live, tourism is a big deal. And there is trafficking that happens, in those venues and those areas. So we have one also specifically targeted for the tourist industry.
Those are both free, self-paced, and can be accessed online through our website. Yep.
Very good.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And
Appreciate it.
before we close out, I do just want to say we're the mental health provider for the first responder peer support
Oh,
program.
yes.
So we're really excited that they're here tonight. So
We're
Oh, yeah.
partnering with that
Yep.
initiative.
They're two behind you.
Yes,
Yes.
it's also very important. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you very much. All right, Commissioners, our next presenter is Mr. Robbie Gill. He's the CEO of YMCA of the Chesapeake, and he's going to give us an update. So, Robbie, come on up and introduce your team. And there's some materials in your book under tab 6, item 2, pages 2, 3, and 4.
Evening, Commissioners.
Evening.
Good to see everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I have with me Brian Burns, who's the Executive Director of the Queen Anne's County Family YMCA, and Wendy Palmer, who's our Vice President of Health Intervention Programs. So thank you for having us for a few minutes. I was thinking, it's hard to believe the Y's been there 27 months now. Like, it seemed like forever to get it, and here we are. Things are going great. I provided some information in your packet that you have. We have almost 7,200 members at the YMCA, about 80 staff, and that goes to over 100 during the summer. When you add in all the work that the Active Aging Center is doing, and then our partnerships and collaborations with the school system, private schools, and other not-for-profits, the Y is serving nearly 10,000 people in some capacity or another on a regular basis. And so as you guys know, I'll always be grateful for your belief in that effort and the opportunity to partner and collaborate. And I think it's been a great transformational project for the community. The Y also provides financial assistance, and so no one has ever turned away. We'll provide about $100,000 in assistance this year. We'll also provide in direct outreach work about $60,000 in specific costs to provide outreach programming, whether that's water safety classes or health intervention programming. And that's really what we want to highlight today. You may or may not know this, but in partnership with the Active Aging Center, the YMCA provides a variety of health intervention programs that are completely free. And you don't have to pay for those, or you don't have to be a member of the YMCA or the Active Aging Center to participate. So the two we want to highlight today is our enhanced fitness class. Wendy will talk more about it, but it's a balance and stability program. And then our Rock Steady boxing program for Parkinson's. So we have a short video of each we'd like to show, and then I'll let Wendy talk in a little more detail.
At the YMCA of Chesapeake, we believe feeling better starts with moving better, and our program, Enhanced Fitness, is designed to help you do exactly that. Enhanced Fitness is an evidence-based balance and stability program created to help people improve mobility, build confidence, and feel their best. It's especially effective for anyone managing arthritis, recovering from illness, or simply looking to ease back into a fitness routine. In fact, research shows that enhanced fitness is most impactful for individuals who are sedentary or just starting on their wellness journey. And that's what makes this program such a perfect stepping stone, whether you're returning to exercise or trying it for the first time. Each class blends low-impact cardio, strength training, flexibility, and balance work. The movements are safe, simple, and adaptable for all fitness levels. Participants often tell us they move with more ease, feel more stable on their feet, and have more energy in their everyday lives. But Enhanced Fitness isn't just about exercise. It's about community. You'll be surrounded by supportive instructors and classmates who celebrate every success, big or small. It's a positive, encouraging space where you can grow stronger, gain confidence, and enjoy the journey along the way. If you're ready to improve your stability, increase your strength, manage arthritis symptoms, and feel better from the inside out, we would love to welcome you. Enhanced Fitness is a free, community-based health intervention program made possible through donations made annually to the YMCA of the Chesapeake. Because it's never too late to start moving toward a healthier you.
Let's, can we show the other one real quick around Rocksteady Boxing for Parkinson's, and then we'll let Wendy talk just briefly about it.
At the YMCA of the Chesapeake, we believe that hope is powerful. And when you participate in our Rocksteady Boxing, hope is something you can feel the moment you walk through the door. Rocksteady Boxing is an evidence-based exercise program specifically designed for individuals diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And here's something we're incredibly proud of. Thanks to the generosity of our donors, we offer this program at no cost to the participants through our annual campaign. Using a non-contact, boxing-based fitness curriculum, Rocksteady helps people with Parkinson's improve their quality of life through movement, strength, rhythm, and confidence. Research shows that rigorous exercise, especially activities that build balance, core strength, and coordination, may actually slow the progression of Parkinson's disease. At Rocksteady, we take that research and turn it into action through adaptive boxing drills that boost agility, speed, endurance, hand-eye coordination, and overall strength. But what truly sets Rocksteady apart is the community. Our amazing volunteers and our dedicated coaches are by our boxers' sides every step of the way, helping with gloves, guiding them to the next station, cheering them on when it gets tough. It's a supportive and safe space where people share the journey together. Spending an hour with folks who understand exactly what you're going through can lift your spirits as much as your heart rate. And we want you to be a part of this movement, whether as a participant, a volunteer coach, or a donor supporting this life-changing program. Join us in the fight against Parkinson's. Rocksteady Boxing is a free, community-based health intervention program made possible through donations made annually to the YMCA of Chesapeake. Because every day is a good day to fight back.
Wow. Did you see any people you know in those videos, potentially?
Doing there, yeah.
We're so proud of the work that these evidence-based programs do for our community members. I'll start with Enhanced Fitness. When we offered that program the first day, we had an information session. I was blown away at the number of people that came out. We now currently have at the Queen Anne's County Family YMCA 53 people enrolled in Enhanced Fitness. Those are seniors that are moving 3 days a week and working on strength and balance and movement. But again, that community piece, which is so important. They all know and love one another. If somebody has a birthday, we celebrate the birthday. If somebody's out sick, there's a card that goes home that we make sure that they know that they're loved. But we see them 3 days a week. We know when they're not there, we check in on them, but we also take those fitness assessments and measurements very seriously so we can show them that they're maintaining balance and strength. So there's a big thing that we use in the both programs is even is winning. Even if you don't lose anything, you're winning. So we're hopefully gaining strength and stability, but if we're holding on to it, that's winning. So really proud of that work and the efforts that the participants put into showing up. It's a big commitment. We tell them it's a commitment. And then with Rocksteady Boxing, we are just grateful that we can have the space to move and really give those folks what they need to stay strong. Parkinson's is a very scary disease to fight, but when we're fighting back together in community, we can see that it's community. They love one another. They show up for one another. I was smiling ear to ear when I saw my buddy Roy, who just returned from a pretty serious surgery, and he came in his red, white, and blue Rocky shorts the day he came back, and we blasted the Rocky theme song as he entered the fitness space. So that's the kind of the enthusiasm they come with. So the program is, again, evidence-based. We have it in 6 of our YMCAs. We're very proud to serve it here in Queen Anne's County, and 43 enrolled currently, and we're having a few more that'll be entering the program this coming week.
more and more people are being diagnosed with Parkinson's every year. I don't know how much you know about the disease, but if you're diagnosed, the main thing we want to say is exercise helps you live well with Parkinson's. It can be very scary to hear those words, but we're trying to meet people the day they're diagnosed. So we have connections with our neurologists all across the state. We have 32 people that are on my list that I fax regularly to remind them where we are, and we're serving these programs at no cost to the individual. And again, no membership is required, no fee for the program. We provide the boxing gloves, and our coaches are all certified in Rocksteady and have a personal training fitness background as well. So.
Now, do you do this just in YMCA's, or do you do it in other organizations?
In St. Mary's County, we are in a senior center currently until our YMCA has a physical space. But right now, we're in our YMCA's and expanded to 6 locations. Anything you were going to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say, what I'm hoping that you guys would be kind enough to do is to continue to advocate for these types of programs when you're out and about in the community and you hear of someone who's maybe battling getting older and balance and stability is more of a challenge, or if they're navigating a Parkinson's diagnosis, that you send them to the Y, because connecting in these kindred groups is tremendously impactful and life-changing. We're also launching, Wendy brought some information, a program called Tandem this year, which is a dementia and Alzheimer's programming, connecting the family around that disease and supporting them. And what I love about it is one of the common things you hear with that pilot in Easton is they say, well, we're maybe not able to do it the right way, but we're learning how to do things our way. And so, I think what we're learning is as we all get older, we want to age in place as long as we can. And these programs allow people the ability to do that and then have a support group around them. As you guys know, visiting the Y, I know Jack and Todd are there pretty regularly. The place is loaded with kids too. What I love about the Y is it's a place where everyone is welcome and everyone is connected. So, but we wanted to really highlight these health intervention programs because I think they can be transformational for the community. Last thing I had, and we're happy to answer any questions, is Doug Summers has been kind enough to work with us on a 4-station easement. The town wanted us to do some plantings back on the back side of the property. And so we signed that this week. And the vision there with Todd's help is to navigate putting in a walking trail in the future to where people can benefit from that in the summer. And that just adds another amenity around activity and connection, which is just great. And so I know probably superintendent and those school staff as well as county staff and Y staff will take advantage of that as well as members. But
How did the first summer go with the pool, the outdoor pool?
We got a late start. The slide was awesome. I got to do it myself, which was great. But Todd was a regular. It's going to be a wonderful resource.
He lives in the pool there, whether it's indoor or outdoor, it doesn't matter.
You know what I love about it?
The good thing is he doesn't have to wear a skin cap.
That's right.
It's just built in.
That's right.
What I do like about that pool is we built these ledges in the water specifically for teaching, and they're great for that, but they're also really good for parents to just sit and socialize while their kids play. And that's kind of the neat thing you saw is everyone in the water. And you think about parents and kids and that, to have a spot where you can get in the water and just sit and be together and socialize is cool. So that's going to have a full year at that. It's going to be really neat. And we ended up, just so you know, the total project right at 26 million. We're 2 million short, but feel like we're going to have a divine gift here at the end of the day that'll make that project completely debt-free. So it's the largest project that we've ever undertaken, and it's one that we've lifted up in other communities as a shining example of what working together can do for a small community.
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's County, that's right. Yep. Any questions? Happy to answer them. But again, just grateful for you guys.
Thank you.
I feel like we've been plugging into this for a long time, so it's cool. Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the opportunity to update. Wendy's got some information.
Yeah,
she'll
I'm
leave
going to
with
make
you guys.
sure you all have every bit of programming in your hands. So if you happen to be talking with somebody that's received
a diagnosis that it can be challenging, that we want to take good care of them with the Y. And then we were featured in the insert in the Stardum's Shore Living, and there's a great article about the Y in our programs, and so I brought a couple copies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good seeing you,
Thank you
Robbie.
all.
I hope I brought enough for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yep, thank you, Robbie. All right, Commissioners, our third and final presentation this evening, we have a panel of staff members and one of our volunteer fire company representatives. We have Beverly Churchill, Jessica Appenzeller, Kelly Payne, Mr. Joe Shavak, and Mr. Mike Jarbone from the Goodwill Volunteer Fire Company, and we're going to talk about the peer support program they've been doing research on for our volunteers and first responders.
You guys see?
I think Beverly's going to lead this group, right? At least initially.
Good-looking group with me.
Yeah, great panel.
I'd say you're in good hands.
Indeed. All right, well, thank you all, Commissioners. We appreciate the time. We have been working hard to put together a peer support program for the Queen Anne's County public safety community. And actually, Captain Appenzeller and our paramedic here, Kelly Payne, they've been doing the bulk of the work. And so we're going to let them start off and kind of explain what it is and where we are today. And then I'll chime in a little bit later. But
We were going to have Joe Savak.
Good evening,
Okay.
Commissioners.
Maybe
Thank you
slide
very
that
much for
microphone
having us
down.
this evening. My name is Joe Savak. I represent the Fire and EMS Commission, which is just one portion of public safety agencies within Queen Anne's County. This group that you see in front of you here represents over 500 dedicated public service officials between 911 dispatchers, DES, FEC, detention centers, and the local police districts. The idea here is that when you're in this line of work, whether it be career or volunteer, people ask us all the time, what's the worst thing you've ever seen? And to be honest with you, you probably don't want to know. But the reality is we hold that inside, and some people internalize it very well and can manage to go without having to seek assistance or talk to anybody. But those events over time do create traumatic scars that do have to be addressed. Either somebody recognizing and saying, hey, are you okay? Or you as the individual reaching out for help. And the hope here is that with this presentation, the request for support and monetary budget, to go ahead and say, as a collective group, the peer support team will work as a safety net for all public safety agencies within Queen Anne's County. I'll turn it over to the captain for presentation.
Okay. Hi, thank you. The purpose, which we have on our slide up there, is public safety professionals, like Joe just said, we see traumatic events all the time, which can lead to significant mental health challenges if unaddressed. So our whole goal here is to address those issues. We know they exist. To address this critical need, we are implementing a comprehensive integrated peer support program. That program embeds mental health services across 6 public safety sectors in Queen Anne's County. And that's the start. We had to identify to start somewhere. So the 6 agencies currently being represented are the 911 Communications Center, so the dispatchers, the Centerville Police Department, the Detention Center, the EMS Division, the Office of the Sheriff, and then the volunteer fire departments. Joe said this initiative supports over 525 personnel. One of the struggles that we have had in the past is that everybody kind of tried to do their own thing and it wasn't enough or wasn't organized, or so by bringing all of these agencies together, our goal is to have a centralized team structure that promotes shared responsibility by equipping trained peers to assist fellow first responders. We aim to build collective resilience, reduce stigma, and ensure that no one faces challenges alone. And probably the biggest purpose here is to prevent suicide, to let folks know that they aren't alone when they're going through difficult times, to keep healthy, grounded employees in our public safety sector, employees, volunteers, everyone, all public safety members. And probably most importantly is to make sure that we all go home and are functional members of our family units. So that's the purpose, that's why we're here. Your turn. Oh, thanks.
Good evening. Thank you again for having us here tonight. Some of our mental health and wellness goals, and these are just, we had to narrow it down. We have a lot of goals, but for right here, right now, our first goal is to be able to establish a peer support group, to be there for one another, regardless of what department you may be in and what public safety sector you may be in, but in order to develop and train a peer support group. Our second goal that we have is to establish timely and reliable mental health support. So this is where we would be tying in with a third-party mental health support, which we have been partnering with for all seasons, and we have been talking with them, and they've been a great help. And so we're hoping to continue that and to be able to tie them in for our third-party mental health support. Our third goal that we have is to establish a communication tool for mental health support. So this is where we would be bringing in an app. It would be able to provide 24/7 communication access to resources, and this would include the peer support resources across all public safety members. So literally, it'll be right at the touch of your fingers if you need assistance or if you want to kind of just see what kind of educational tools that we can have out there. So, thank you.
So we've kind of developed a timeline for implementation, and so initially we want to start with training of the peer support group or the providers, and we're looking at doing it at the end of the month. And then implementing between this month and next month the app that Kelly discussed, and then early in the next quarter to kind of roll out the program to all of the agencies we've discussed. And we'll do that through a variety of means. We're looking at a lot of it being face-to-face, so they get to know the For All Seasons providers and just develop a relationship and trust level with them. Also, we're looking at doing some paper kind of packets and things, and maybe some videos and things with our QACTV 7 groups, so that we can have some things. We're not going to obviously be able to get to everybody, but we have some other materials that can go out, and also we can use some of those things for new folks that come on for onboarding as we go down the road. And that'll get us at least the ground structure. And then going forward, we'll look at doing some additional training, because we do have a lot of folks, and we want to make sure we continue to grow that peer support team so that we have a good team in place as we move forward. We're looking at putting some policies and procedures in place so everybody kind of understands, what's going on, sort of what the rules are. Looking at establishing a core leadership crew that's made up of representatives from all of these agencies that will look at and sort of be the governance and the guiding for keeping it sustainable and making sure we're moving forward, and really kind of making sure we're handling all the issues and that all of the agencies may have as we move forward. And then ongoing training of the peer support group, can't be a one and done. So it's going to be making sure that they are mentored and maintained and supported as we move forward. So that's kind of like a little bit of the timeline and things that we have moving forward. My supporter right here beside me. So we've kind of worked with the different groups and coming up with a little bit of a budget that we're looking at. The initial peer support training for 24 peer support providers is $20,000. The Lighthouse app, Captain Eppenzeller and our paramedic Payne looked at several different apps, some of them very expensive, some of them not so expensive, and felt that this was the one that was suited towards us. It's more customizable. It's not nearly as expensive as some of the others we looked at. To get that one up and running, it's just a little under $8,000. And then For All Seasons, they're going to help us with some of the training, some of the implementation, and of course the most important thing is some of the mental health services, particularly on-site services. We also have submitted a grant for Care First to help supplement some of this. We haven't heard yet for that. And we have also submitted a letter of intent for a grant through Motorola. So we are seeking other funding sources, but those things take time and we have not yet heard back from them. So that's kind of where we are, what we're doing, what we're looking for. So we'll open the floor to questions.
So I just want to say, you guys did a great job putting this together. I think Joe brought this before the FEC, not even 3 months ago. So if you guys want to step in and get all governmental programs up and running that fast, I would love it. This has got to be a record. It went 90 days. I know, I get it, and you guys did a lot in a short amount of time. Todd, I appreciate you stepping in and for all seasons for stepping up. So I'm going to make the motion because I think it's a great program. I think it's needed. I would not want to do what you guys do and have to be a part of it. That's why I don't do it. So
Before you make a motion, I have a quick question. So in creating this program, it's depending on the situation that the agency representative faced, whether it be an accident or a death, or whatever. Is some of this mandated before they can get back on the job or come back into service, that they at least go through a portion of the program, or?
Not the peer support side. Not the peer support side. At this point, it's just a peer talking to one another, identifying red flags or concerns. And then the biggest piece that has been missing for us for so long is to have that mental health
Component
group
part of it.
to have a soft handoff to. So we work with each other, and you can tell when something's wrong. We're around each other, we all are. But to have that nice soft handoff. So when we as peers feel like it's more than something that we can help someone through or give them guidance through, then to have those professionals be there to
And
take
is that
the
currently
lift.
an option? Is that something that's made available currently now, or?
The moment that we started working with For All Seasons, something really cool happened. They told us about a program of open access, and then kind of basically issues we run into in the past is that someone's having a hard time, but they might have to wait weeks or months before they can get an appointment. This is open access, so I can get an appointment the very next day.
Okay.
So one of the things that Joe shared with us at the FEC meeting that I thought was, it really clicked, was the fact that, you have captains, you have chiefs, you have people that are at the top, right? Well, they're supposed to be supporting the people down underneath them, the trainees, the regular firefighters and things like that. But once you get to the top, there's nobody there for these people in the leadership role. So this really fills a gap that's never existed, where the leadership roles have a place to go, because really they don't have that. Everybody else is looking up to them, and they have nobody to look to. So I really thought that was an important part of this whole thing, is that leadership now has a place to go to, that they could feel comfortable. And
we often face challenges mentally when it comes to balancing a budget here in Queen Anne's County. I just want everyone to know that Jack's always been that, not to make light of the situation, but Jack's always been that support for me.
I don't know how I feel about that, Phil. All right. I move that Queen Anne's County proceed with implementation of the Public Safety Peer Support Program to include $35,750 in startup funding for FY26.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing,
Chief Jarbo and Joe, and thanks for all your work on this. Madam Director, HIPAA. So, in order for this to be a successful program, people don't want their names out there. People don't want to know that they're reaching out to somebody. So, my question is about confidentiality. How are we going to protect the men and women that are reaching out to For All Seasons?
So For All Seasons is bound by HIPAA, just like everybody else is. So anybody that reaches out to them, just like you would if you go to a doctor's office or anybody else, they are bound by HIPAA. And so their information is protected.
Great. Well, I just want to thank you again for doing all this hard work. Joe, I know you've been working on this a long time. Congratulations.
We got a vote.
All righty. Well, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Now you
There we go.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Great for all the hard work.
job. Thanks.
Such a short amount of time. Like I said, you need a job.
All right, Commissioners, that concludes our presentations for this evening. We can now move into our action items. And first, we have the Department of Public Works. They've got 4 items, so if you want to turn to tab number 2. Tab number 2, item 1 on pages 1 through 3. First, we have the FY27 Noxious Weed Cooperative Agreement. And this is the agreement between the county and the Maryland Department of Agriculture for cooperation in the control and eradication of noxious weeds. So we do have staffing and a budget for this program, and this is the agreement that we sign each year for continuation of the noxious weed program that takes care of the weeds on our county roads, state highways, and on private property by prescription.
I move to execute the cooperative agreement with the Maryland Department of Agriculture for FY27 noxious weed eradication and control.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Is there just a cost increase? Is it same as
No,
last?
this is just the annual agreement we have with the Maryland Department of Agriculture. We run under their permit licenses.
under theirs.
And for chemicals and whatnot, yeah, so, yep.
Thank you.
I just want to go on record, I was in Senegal the other day, and it's obnoxious weed.
Dun-dun-dun. There you go.
Next.
Okay.
That doesn't even qualify as a dad joke.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
I don't even think that makes it to a dad joke, Phil.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Item number 2 on pages 4 through 8, this is for the Kent Island Senior Center. This is a state capital improvement grant right of recovery agreement. As you may recall, we received a grant for $265,000 some years ago for the replacement of the roof on the senior center, and the Board of Public Works conditioned that on a right of recovery agreement so that facility has to continue operating as a senior center for 15 years so we can collect that money. So the work's all done, and that does reduce our cost by that amount, by $265,000. So
I move that the notice of right of recovery required by award of the Kent Island Senior Center State Capital Improvement Grant be executed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
all right, thank you, Commissioners, and Chief Engineer Lee Edgar was in charge of that project, and glad we got that all finished and well done. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, next item, item number 3, is for the Sudlersville Skeet Club, and this is an agreement that would allow the ski club to continue their use of the old Price Chapel landfill situated on Duhamel Corner Road, basically for the foreseeable future. The original agreement was prepared back in 1998. It terminates in 2048, but they've made substantial improvements up there and have additional work to do and more improvements. So this is an agreement that would provide them the ability to maintain that use of that property. So we do have some representatives here that may want to enlighten you on what they've been doing up there if you haven't been up there at the ski club, but it is a growing 100-plus member organization. So.
I got a phone call about it, and I'm going to make the motion, and when I do, I'm going to put a caveat in there that we expedite the permitting process for them to put the building up that they've got, because they've done, my understanding is they've done all of the legwork.
Are you guys still
to do
running
that.
out of the trailer?
We are. Yeah, they are right now, but they have grand plans for a new building, and it's.
So I actually used to be a member of it with my son when he first got his gun
Okay.
safety class.
okay,
And we
so-
went up there and we would shoot trap and skeet all the time. Just thoroughly enjoyed it, and he's now 26 years old and loves to hunt and shoot birds, but he loves to go to Schrader's and to the sporting clays. And it all started right there at the Sudlersville Skeet and Trap Club.
Great. You should come back.
Huh?
You should come back.
Yeah.
So one of the, just, if you indulge me here, so Sudlersville has gone through a substantial amount of growth in the last 5 years. So we're the home club for both the Queen Anne's County team, Kent Island, Washington College Trap and Skeet team. And our events our main focus has now shifted to the youth. We're hosting events such as the Maryland High School Clay Target League State Championship. We hosted the inaugural one last year. We had 42 participants, plus all their parents. This year, it could be more than 70 because we also host what's called War on the Shore, which is where all the high school teams compete. We had 72 competitors, so with their parents and loved ones, I think we had over 150 people at the skeet club. So yes, we had a benefactor that has donated $50,000 to kick off a capital campaign to build a new clubhouse. And one of the benefits to that, one is it gives a space for those teams and our members. It allows us to continue to grow, but it also provides space for our educational programs that we're running out there. So with firearm safety, we run clinics for National Skeet Shooting Association referees, which there are a limited number of them. So that the new building will allow us to do more of that outreach. And we've also talked about bringing back the Junior Hunter Day, which used to be a DNR function, but has gone by the wayside. But we've got the facility, and we used to host it, so we've talked about bringing that back as well. Additionally, we are hosting this coming year for the first time ever for Sothersville, the Maryland State Skeet Championship. So that'll be the 1st of September. We're bringing people in from all over the state of Maryland, plus Delaware, Pennsylvania, Virginia, et cetera. And we're also hosting the 80th Delmarva Open. So the Delmarva Open is one of the oldest continuous skeet shoots in the country. The only time we haven't hosted it is during World War II, Vietnam, and COVID. So this will be the 80th Delmarva this year. So a lot of things going on at Sothersville. So
Where are you parking all the cars?
And
From my memory as being a member there.
They are down the lane. They are back in the backfield. I mean, this year, like I said, when we had the Maryland, the War on the Shore and the Maryland High School State Championship, it was impressive. There were cars everywhere. So, wow. Yeah.
Amazing.
So thank you for giving us the property in the first place, and we hope that we will continue for another 95 years, because this is our 95th anniversary of operation in Queen Anne's County. So.
And Patrick, they're looking for volunteers to come pick up all the clay pieces that are shot and break on the grounds there if you're not doing anything Saturday.
And the BBs.
I'd like to add a couple things. I've been a member for the past 40 years or so long, but I helped negotiate the original lease with the commissioners at the time, McGlash and Sandy and a couple others. But anyhow, just so you know, the money we've spent since we did this, we put in a septic system, we've put in a well, we have a 20 by 30 pavilion. We moved the old clubhouse from the original site to the new site, and it was originally one of these double-wide school buildings that we renovated, and it's seen its better days. We presently have 5 skeet fields. We start out with 3. We have 3 trap fields. We have a 5 stand, and we have lights and electric and all that, the driveway. So we've probably, over the years, have spent close to $100,000 out there. It benefits us, but it also benefits the county, and it hasn't cost the county a penny. Well, I can't say that. They do mow the grass twice a year. So anyhow, we really think we're doing a good job to support our county, and this youth thing our young members are bringing on is just tremendous.
Well, it sounds like you've grown.
And
there was one trap house when I was a member.
The county can be proud of is we're one of the 5 oldest gun clubs in the whole country. And we'd like to see that continue. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I move to execute the new Sothersville Skeet Club agreement, and I'll work with you guys to get the permit.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Paul.
Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Paul.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, gentlemen.
There's only one person got it.
Have a good night, sir. You too.
All right, Commissioners, one final item for the Department of Public Works. We have a deed of dedication for Kent Manor Drive, and this is for a portion of the Thompson Creek Connector Road that was relocated by the airport. There's a map in your book that shows, depicts that location of the relocated Kent Manor Drive right there at Bay Cove. So, anything else, Shane, you wanted to add on that? It's been constructed and meets all county standards.
Do you need to go into the roads board?
Yes, we should do that. Thank you.
Make a motion that we convene as the roads board?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you,
This
Shane.
is just a housekeeping issue. Kent Manor Drive realigned from Route 8 to the existing Kent Manor Drive. A portion of the Thompson Creek connector has been finished for a while. It's met all inspections, bond's been released, the dedication's been reviewed by staff and the county attorney and approved. So now we're just ready to execute that and put it in our inventory, maintaining it here on out, perpetuity.
Very good.
All right, so we just need a motion, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I move to execute the Thompson Creek Connector deed and dedication from Maryland Route 8 to the Kent Manor Drive.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. 5-0.
All right.
Thank you, John.
Anything else for the Public Works folks here that are here?
Yeah, hey, Mr. Shane, Mr. Lee, Mr. Quimby, just want to give you a shout out for the great work that the county roads have been doing for our great residents. It's been a tough one, but you guys have shined the whole way, and we're very grateful for all the hard work that you've been doing with this ice.
So, Shane, I'm sure Todd's already, that Felton School Road, want to try to get a timeline on that thing.
I'm sorry. Felton School Road, the failure was back in September. As of December, we had worked with State Highway and Federal Highway to secure $1 million in preliminary design, 100% covered by, with no county match. That's actually for 2 bridges, Felton School and Coonbox, who we added to that list because they are of similar age and design. It's currently in the hands of State Highway and the feds through their process to get a consultant on board. So we have to get through that. That's probably a 9-month process to not only get a consultant on board, but then to review everything, have a kickoff meeting and get started. I would say at best, using state and federal timelines, we're looking at construction being finished late 2028. That would be the best timeline I see right now. Of course, that is dependent on the actual design and what they come up as a solution to rehabilitate that bridge. But it was inspected after the issue we had with it, and it was decided at that time it was not worth repairing. It was a rehabilitation. So I'd be curious to see what design they come up with. Certainly keep you posted.
All right.
I know there's some individuals up there that if they need to get access to the road down to where the bridge is, we can accommodate them. We just can't get them across that bridge. But we can't allow them to go past the barricades where it is closed off currently. So let us know if there's any other
People are
folks. Yeah. Like the privacy, I guess, huh? I don't know.
No, I think people are actually going around other ways now.
Yeah, barricades are bolted down to the road, but they're bolted in the way to get around down to the access for the farm, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thanks, gentlemen. All right.
You in the shop tomorrow? I am. Okay, I'll call you.
All right, Commissioners, we can move into the action items for this evening. Tab 3. Turn to tab 3, item 1 on pages 1 through 5. This is for the Old Love Point Park Playground resurfacing. And our Parks and Recreation Group is requesting authorization to contract with playground specialists to remove the existing playground flooring at Old Love Point Park and replace it with new poured-in-place surface. They have a contract using the Sourcewell contract, pre-authorized contract with playground specialists in the amount of $95,939 for that project. Mr. Steve Shanley here if you have any questions. He's got a few things here today.
Can I get a motion?
I move to authorize Department of Parks and Recreation to contract with Playground Specialists Incorporated of Third Pont, Maryland, utilizing Sourcewell contract 010521-LTS to remove the existing playground floor surface at Old Love Point Park and replace it with a poured-in-place surfacing for a total amount of $95,939.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Item 2, White Marsh Park Comfort Station. This is for a new bathroom at White Marsh Park. We received 12 responsive bids for a new comfort station at White Marsh Park, ranging from $545,361 up to $1.3 million. And we are going to go with the lowest responsible bidder of Harper & Sons for the $545,361 for this project. And this will be similar to the one down at Macomb Creek that was provided to us via the Four Seasons developer.
I move to authorize Department of Parks and Recreations to contract with Harper & Sons, Inc. to build the comfort station at White Marsh Park for $545,361, with funding from the DNR program Open Space and Department's capital project for pavilions, concessions, and comfort stations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I got discussion. Whatever happened to if the company resides inside of Queen Anne's County, they were allowed a certain percentage? And how did that play out with this?
It doesn't come into play because we're using POS money to assist with the construction. So therefore, it makes that application null.
Okay, so none of this is county
It's got
money?
to be county money, right?
Correct.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you. Okay, well.
That was a
all
great
this-
question, though.
We had that on the other one.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
I know.
That's the local vendor preference
Correct.
But it's gotta be county money
component.
that you're
Yeah, it's got to be all county money, yeah.
Okay. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Item 3, on pages 11 through 16, we have Church Hill Park Trail resurfacing. And again, Parks and Recreation is requesting authorization to contract with David A. Bramble to mill, grind, and resurface the Church Hill Park Trail in the amount of $106,051 using the SHA contract that's pre-qualified Mr. Bramble.
I move to authorize the Department of Parks and Recreation to contract David A. Bramble Incorporated to mill and grind and resurface the Churchill Park Trail in the amount of $106,051, utilizing the Maryland SHA contract XQ 9175377.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I think the Brambles, I wonder if I should vote on this with the flying signs. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. And while we're paving, we might as well pave Sudlersville Park Trail as well. And they have also Parks and Recreation has a request to authorize David A. Bramble to mill, grind, and resurface the Sudlersville Park Trail in the amount of $93,351 using the same SHA pre-established government contract.
I move to authorize Department of Parks and Recreation to contract with David A. Bramble Incorporated to mill, grind, and resurface the Sudlersville Park Trail in the amount of $93,351, utilizing the MD or Maryland SHA contract XQ 9175377.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Before we let you out of here, I have a question for you. There's been some questions regarding the Cross Island trails and snow removal. Can you just give us a quick update? Are you able to? Or
We do not pay, we do not pay.
That's
we
for
do
the
pay-
cross-country skiers.
We don't plow our trails at all. Because
Okay.
we cannot put down any type of abrasive or anything due to, one, the degradation of the trail, but also environmental reasons. And
Okay.
So if we were to go in there and just, remove the top layer, what's going to happen, as we all know,
Ice.
it's just going to become a layer of ice. And, it's the very few times for the very minute number of people that do cross-country ski, it's an opportunity.
Sure.
to do that as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. Okay, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Good question, yeah. All right, Commissioners, moving on, we have item number 5, pages 23 through 40. This is the Rural Legacy Priority Area for FY '27. As you know, we have 2 Rural Legacy areas, Land's End and Foreman Branch, and we usually rotate between those 2 for priority each year. And last year, we designated Foreman Branch as the priority over Land's End. We didn't get any money last year for Foreman Branch, so we are recommending that we stay with Foreman Branch as the priority area for FY '27.
I move to execute the Foreman Branch Rural Legacy Area as the area for priority funding for FY '27.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hopefully it flies this
So we're
year.
gonna get money this year?
Hopefully it flies.
So the funding for the Rural Legacy is down this year. We might get enough money to get one farm in.
That'd be good.
But I do have good news. If I may, can I give you an update?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Beginning of the year update, I wanted to do it last meeting, but it got canceled. So I'm doing 17 crepe easements, which, as you know, that's the woodland and the crepe easement grassway around the farms, for roughly 1,200 acres at an estimated cost of a little bit over $8 million of no county money.
That's good.
Got a few rural legacy easements still pending settlement, so we're waiting on that. And Jack, as you know, you like to know the second round.
Dollars, yeah.
Dollars.
Yeah.
So we did a total of 13 mouth easements this year for a total of 1,790 acres.
Good year.
That was a total amount of $8.3 million.
Very nice.
So six of those farms were second round offers. At no county money.
Right.
Did you say 6 of those were second
Six were
round?
second round offers.
It's always the way. It always doubles up on the second round. Yeah, crazy. But so what, is Mouth still out until 29 right now, or where's that sitting?
No, I got to submit applications by July 1 of this year. That's still a 2-year cycle.
Okay. So, and how much money do they have in the budget right now?
Let's see, I got it right here.
I'm curious, because there was talk that it would be 29 before they put another nickel in there.
Oh, really?
They're looking at
Bless you. Zentype.
they're looking at a 2-year cycle, fiscal year 27-28 at roughly 1.2 million. So if you do your match at 1.3,
Comparatively speaking, that's nothing.
That is nothing.
no, it's not. It's
Compared to what we've been able to get. All right.
and we're looking at that until 2030.
That's what I'm
budget
talking
wise.
about.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Keep chugging away.
yeah. All right.
All right,
Cool.
guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
All right, thank you very much. Okay. Item 6, Commissioners, is the Maryland Transit Administration's operating grant agreement for FY 2026, pages 41 through 51. This item is the MTA's operating grant for our transit system here. Executing these documents inform MDTA that we accept the federal and state funding to support transit services and county ride as the locally operated transit system in Queen Anne's County. And this year, we're getting, for operating funds, $427,647 for FY '26 operating.
I move to execute the Maryland Transportation Administration Operating Grants Agreement Packet to certify the Queen Anne's County Department of Aging and Transportation will operate the public transit system and accept awards as offered by the State of Maryland Department of Transportation for FY '26.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved, 5-0.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. And item 7 is the MTA Capital Grant Agreement for FY '26 on pages 52 through 62. And this is for the Capital Grant Agreement program for county ride as well. And again, executing these documents inform MTA that we accept the federal and state funding to support transit services and county ride in Queen Anne's County. And this grant includes money for preventative maintenance, and the county's cost share of this portion, which is new this year, is 10% of the grant. And we are going to receive $210,120 for 2 small bus replacements and 2 power washers.
I move to execute the Maryland Transit Administration's Capital Grant Agreements Packet to certify the Queen Anne's County's Department of Aging and Transportation will operate the public transit system and accept awards as offered by the State of Maryland Department of Transportation for FY '26.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
There you go, 5-0.
All right, 5-0. Thank you, Commissioners. Item 8 is on page 63, is a letter of support for the Department of Emergency Services Operations Center Planning. This is for FY27 congressionally directed spending. This is to support a planning project to renovate, expand our 911 Emergency Operations Center, and this will allow the county to refine the project scope, validate operational requirements, and establish a clear path forward for a future capital project that strengthens our emergency preparedness and response capacity.
I move to execute the letter of support for Department of Emergency Services Operations Center Planning FY27 congressionally directed spending request.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
All right, Commissioners, thank you. And our last item is Budget Amendment CC8. This is for the Fire and EMS Commission life insurance, and this increases budget authority by $287,000 for life insurance under the Fire Chiefs Association to account for higher than anticipated life insurance costs for FY26. This is mainly for the retired VFD members.
I move to approve budget amendment CC8 Fire and EMS Commission Life Insurance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We are, and just really quick update on that. So we are shopping that, but we also did have the LoSAP, LoSAP, their investments for the LoSAP. They changed it. It's actually going to save the county about $400,000 a year. So it's really probably not going to be that bad of a hit in terms of the life insurance, even though it's gone up to get it to our older life members and that kind of thing. It was expensive. I think some of the premiums outweighed what you would get when you died in some instances. So
We got some pretty old members too.
Yeah, we got 87, I think.
We got a 100-year-old too, Centauri, Dan Tabler, yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the active list.
What? Okay.
Yeah, but I think the oldest on the active list was 88.
80, yeah,
So
that's right.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, so the FEC's working through it, and originally it looked bad, but with this whole LoSAP change, or I think it was the LoSAP, it's where their investment side of that was going in. They found a new firm that's going to guarantee them 4.5 over 3% for 10 years and saves them money from the county having on our side to put in. So yeah, it worked out pretty good. Yep.
That wasn't my question though.
Oh,
Bruce, you have anybody for?
well, I wanted to get that one out anyway, so I'm glad you reminded me of it.
Nope. So no press and public comment? You're good?
I'm good. That's
You're
all I
good.
have.
Patrick, you still there? You're first up.
I'll go last.
No, you'll go first. You got anything?
Yeah, I'm just thrilled with as I mentioned, with the work that the DPW did with all of the ice and taking care of our neighbors and things of that nature. So that's it. Thank you.
Cool. Jack?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you my good news, or what I think is good news anyway, for all of our efforts as commissioners over the years. It's kind of exciting. So recently I attended the electrical board meeting with Adam Tolley and our new electrical instructor for Queen Anne's County High School. So we now have an electrical program, new this year, newly minted. And in the course of that, the electrical board was very excited to find this out, which is why they reached out to me to have Adam and the instructor come and talk to him. And meanwhile, I couldn't count it on my fingers and toes, but I think they got donated probably about $10,000 worth of equipment and material to the program at the high school from just the 5 board members sitting on the board up there. So, and there was talk of getting them a couple of 20-foot trailers to put out back for doing their demo stuff in and all that. So it was a really good meeting with that. And then the next day or 2 days later, I got word from Cliff Coppersmith that the Regional Tech Center is fully funded in this year's budget for the capital budget from the governor. And there's nobody else in there, so we have a really good chance of getting it, and that'll put it open in 2028, beginning of 28 school year. So really good news there. Yeah. And then the third one I got was, remember our astronaut friend that came in, Diallo? Yeah. So he has really made some great strides. I've met with him about 4 different times now, and he is bringing an astronaut who's from Maryland that was on one of the recent Blue water flight, Blue Origin flights, in to see us, and he's going to give us an update here where he's at. He's got a lot of eggs in a row, his ducks in a row now. He's working to be a part of the new Regional Tech Center and have the space program be part of that whole thing when it starts up. So cool. A lot of good things happening with, we planted the seed 10 years ago with all this stuff, and now it's finally starting to show some roots and all. So kudos to all of us for being a part of that. That's big news for Queen Anne's. And then, so Annapolis, now we go to the bad news. I gave you all the good news I had. So Annapolis, so there is, I was talking to the guys earlier, gave you a little heads up. There's a Senate bill in right now, 255, which kind of threatens our way of governing here and several other counties. It's a Right for Voters Act. It's very convoluted, but it seems like it's a workaround to get, and Chris was on the call the other night when it got explained, or last night when it got explained. It seems like a very convoluted way to get us back to where they want to force you to vote by district and, into the type of government they want to put us into in a box. For as much as Annapolis complains about what DC does to Annapolis, doesn't even realize and wake up to realize they're doing the same thing to the counties here in the state of Maryland. And by that I mean not just in telling us how we govern ourselves locally, but to the budget. We all heard there's a $1.4 billion shortfall that's actually been closed by the governor in his recent budget. But there's a lot of cuts in there. But what there's also in there is this new, let's pass cost on to the county. Let's cost shift to the counties. We'll balance the budget on the back of the county. And there's several measures in there this year, similar to last year. We will now receive the other half of what the teachers' pensions are. So we will own all of that. And the state scratching their head is, why does this number keep going up? Well, because you put the base teacher starting salary at $60,000 a year. You're trying to hire 12,000 more teachers. It stands to reason that pensions are going to go up. The sheer numbers alone are going to support that. And they don't want to pay the bill. Much as staying on the budget topic, as we understand, based on our Board of Ed meeting and the other night, that our board here locally is looking for roughly a $12 million bump this year. Our state share is going down again.
Yes.
So I just don't know how this insanity can continue, where the state runs around, our delegates, our senators that tout this Kerwin mess keep saying that they're fully funding education when we sit here in Queen Anne's County, and after this year we will be underfunded $11 million from the state. And that continues to grow. Well, that's going to put it on the back of Queen Anne's County taxpayers to basically fund other school systems around the state, because that money's going somewhere and it's not coming here. And I wish, and I've said it for the last 4 budget cycles, I wish our teachers would go over there, shine that red apple up, and tell them, give us the money you promised us. And this is 2018 dollars. We all know $1 in 2018 isn't worth nothing today, right? So I think that's the one that sticks in my craw the most over there in Annapolis this year, other than some of the other stupidity going on. I mean, there's such this back and forth tit for tat between Annapolis and DC because one doesn't like the other. I think I have seen more maturity in a kindergarten classroom than I've seen between the feds and our state government right now. And unfortunately, we as the county governments, we're left to bear the brunt of it here locally because we are the boots on the ground here. And ultimately, all of our taxpayers and citizens are really bearing the brunt of it. And I think it's sickening. I think we all need to grow up, put our big boy pants on, and go to work, come together, get things done. And Commissioner Corcoran, I give you a lot of credit. The other night, you put a post on Facebook about that whole Bad Bunny versus TP USA.
Watch what you like.
Watch what you want. I mean, it's like, that is what is consuming our society today, is what you watch at the Super Bowl halftime. We need to grow up in this country, or we are doomed to just, anyway, that's all I got, Jim. I'm done. I can't go any.
Well, I was going to say I didn't want to follow you, but sure, I'll follow you now.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Jim and I had an opportunity to attend the Graysonville Installation Officers Banquet. This is something that the commissioners get invited to each year. And unfortunately, because of an illness, I didn't get to attend Ken Islands on Saturday, but I know Commissioner Moran was able to attend that. Just to add just a smidgen, Jim and I had an opportunity to sit down with the Board of Ed before the commissioners meeting this evening, And that $12 million, that's above and beyond what we gave them last year. That's a 7.5% increase over last year, correct?
10%.
10%. I don't know about you, but the cost of living isn't anywhere near that. So it's going to be very difficult. I think that this set of commissioners is going to have a huge task in this budget because that still doesn't change the needs that we have at a county level. So stand by, stay connected, just understand that this is a long road we have ahead of us to try to come up with a balanced budget. I will tell you that it's starting to look a lot like the first one that I ever had to work on back in 2012. And we had a $20 million budget shortfall on a $100 million annual budget. And we had to make some very, very difficult, hard decisions in order to submit a balanced budget to the state. And I have just a funny feeling in my gut that we're looking at something similar to that this time around.
Thank you.
I mean, to your point, Phil, when you're adding this money, we're not just doing one-time additions, right? Like, it builds on the last addition, and in a very short period of time, you're doubling the budget in a very short period of time, and it gets really, really expensive. And my concern with this is that I don't think that we are seeing, since the time that we've been commissioners, the percentage of increase in funding has not correlated into even a fraction of that percentage increase in better education for our kids. I got 2 kids that go to public school, a lot of great teachers, some who aren't great, just to be honest. And because, you know, if you're a really great teacher, you're working really hard, and the person in the classroom next to you isn't, but they're going to get paid the same thing, you're going to get burnt out. That happens in any business, right? And we're having to put the money into things that the state is forcing us to put into, instead of saying, we're the real things where we can make a difference and impact the education for the kids. So a lot of money is going in, but not into things that are making it better for the kids. And that's what's really frustrating. I would give them $15 million more this year if I thought we were going to see, you know, really exponential increases in what our kids are getting. And we need to get the discussion back to that is the problem. And this is no, you know, attack on our local board of ed. I mean, everybody's trying the best, but it just, every time the state has Kerwin and all these new things you got to do, it's, oh, and by the way, you also need to add in all these administrative tasks in order to account for the money that we're telling you that you have to spend so that we know you're spending the extra money that we're telling you, instead of saying that money can go towards education and instruction.
And pony some of that up.
It's frustrating.
I mean, if you're the state and you're bringing it to the point, come with a percentage of that. All these new programs, to your point, Chris, every year over year for the last 3 years they've implemented, we've seen a decrease in state funding.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're going up, you know, what, 7-8% last year, 10%. Eventually, you're right. The budget for here is going to double. I remember my first Board of Ed budget here was 56 million, 54 million, something like that, and now it's going to be 125 million.
And our kids are not as competitive.
No.
And then even if you look at just training for the trades, or if you want to go to college, Maryland's not so great for that either, right? I mean, you go to some other states, and they've really got some systems in place for better cost of education, for higher education if you're going to college. Maryland, you can get into some state schools, but in a lot of state schools, it's people from outside of state that are getting into it.
Yeah.
They're really expensive,
To the nose.
right? I mean, we're mortgaging kids' futures where you're graduating with $150,000, $200,000, and then they say, oh, we got to make housing more affordable. The housing would be a lot more affordable if we didn't have to spend so much on college, we didn't have to spend so much on electricity, and we didn't have to spend so much on groceries. All of a sudden, that housing would start getting a lot more affordable. So I'm convinced, like higher education, that's how we take upper middle class and make them lower middle class, because they have to spend all their money to get their kids through college.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Is
ridiculous.
it Georgia? This is a state where tuition's free if the kid gets a B or above.
Yeah,
or
a couple of
whatever
states have those promise grants. Yeah.
Promise grants, yeah. I mean,
So it's frustrating that the state is not focusing on the things it should be focusing that actually make a difference in citizens' lives day to day.
and honestly, they're really not pouring that much into the college and career readiness side of Kerwin. I mean, that's the one I sit on, the pillar that I sit on, and everybody's still got a shortfall over on that side because they're still trending the money over the other way, even though there's supposed to be money earmarked for our WIB boards and all that locally. It's not trickling down into the school system right now, which nobody can answer why. You know, I don't know.
So General Assembly is in session, folks. This is your opportunity to get
Yeah.
down there.
Absolutely.
Reach out to your delegates and senator. I mean, your local delegates and senators are fighting, but
they're not the ones in control.
No, they're not the ones you want to talk to.
So when you need things done, you got to get to the committee leads, right? And
Committee chairs,
They're not from this district.
Nope.
And that's where the change can make. If you want Maryland to get better, that's what you have to do.
I don't know, the cancer's deep
Yeah.
in this state. You know, like Phil said, we met with the Board of Ed and their leadership, and all I can say is, you know, I made the comment that, you know, there's a lot of talk going on right now about affordable housing, and it should be on affordable education.
Should be.
I mean, it's just the numbers, you know, we've got a graph here with 7 or 8 years between 2 and 4% increases to the last 4 being 7.5%, 9%, 11%, and this year they want 7.6%. Well, this is what we told them, we give them 7.6%. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for them, and I get it, but, you know, I don't know. I'm torn between it because 13 years ago when I sat with the apple givers at my first election, you know, I said, well, I don't know why there's always this constant back and forth. Why don't we just split that money? Any revenues above and beyond previous revenues year, just split it in half. Then live within your means. And it's not happening. So it's unfortunate, but again, you know, I think we got a good education system. I just think that, you know, we got to rein in some of the spending. And unfortunately, that means teachers. So we'll see what happens. I will say tomorrow, as you talk about going to see your delegates, I'm going to see our delegates and our senator tomorrow at the State of the State speech. They're going to sit me in a corner somewhere, and I said, well, how does this really work? And they said,
Oh, you can't talk.
Well, they said it's very simple. You know, if you like something, you stand up and you clap. If you don't like it, you just stay seated. I'm like, okay, I can do that. You know, I can do that.
You think you'll do much standing and clapping?
I don't know.
Bleacher seats, you can be comfortable sitting?
But if you hear some screaming and yelling, and you know, if you're watching it, and you know,
Probably you.
Does that sound like Jim? I don't know. So, but yeah, so. Tomorrow morning, I'll be with my friend Warren Wright. The Drug Free Coalition meets tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, Sheriff's Office. Anybody that wants to come. Thursday, we have our MDTA hearing on the Bay Bridge, options to the Bay Bridge, what you think should be on the Bay Bridge, what you think shouldn't be. But please don't come and say build a bridge somewhere else, because that ship has sailed. So, you know, if you want to be involved in the process. Excuse me?
How well was last night attended, the online one?
I don't know. I didn't have a chance to attend that.
I watched it. It was over by about 7:15 or so. I mean, they did a presentation, maybe had a dozen or so people made comments, but that was about it, virtual. Yeah, but tomorrow night Thursday night, it's Ken Island High School.
Thursday, and they have one more virtual, right? Or is it another in person?
Well,
no. There's a third one, but I can't remember.
It's on the Western Shore.
It's on the Western Shore, right?
Yeah.
But is it in person? Yeah. Okay.
The Western Shore is right now, today.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, today,
Oh, so
Tuesday.
tonight? Okay.
Yeah, it's tonight. And then Thursday is at Ken Island High School at 6 p.m., I think. Come early, come 5, yeah. Why not? Be there, be ready. So that's really all I got. You know, again, Ken Island Firehouse. I hit 3 of them this year. I did Centerville, I got Graysonville, and I got Ken Island. My out of town duties kept me from the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it is 5 p.m. tomorrow night.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Great. Well,
Ken
thank
Island
you.
High School.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.